Hey, kids, we're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
Who can I turn to when nobody needs?
That's right, we're the official Simpsons podcast explores that American animated sitcom, The Simpsons, from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest ones when they come out. Why do we do it like that? Well, an entity known as the Wheel of Random has trapped us and forced us to watch the show in such a manner. And there's a ton of other podcasts that do the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10. And hey, we already watched season 11, so it's really 12 and beyond. And I say we because I am one annoyed grunt boy named Steve, and with me, as always, is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Craig.
Hello, Craig.
Hello.
How are we doing this week?
We're good. Should we just get into this episode? We got a lot to talk about.
We do have a lot to talk about, but maybe people have a lot to talk about us.
Are you saying open the mailbag?
I think so, yeah. What do you got for us, Craig?
One of our Patreon listeners, Anthony, sent us what I will say is like a beautiful message. When I read it the other night, I was like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever read. And I've read stuff.
It's true, he has.
Yeah, Steve's even seen it. You've seen me look at a book. You don't know if I was reading.
Yeah, it was upside down and you're reading the wrong way, but maybe you were Japanese and a bat.
Yeah. But he wrote that, I just wanted to say I've been listening to y'all for at least 5 years. Y'all bring me joy every week. I look forward to listening to y'all every single week. Y'all humor, y'all jokes, and y'all stupid gags. Honestly, just makes my morning. Thank y'all. I noticed this was random, but I thought I needed to say it. I wish I could support y'all more. I really do. That's such a sweet message. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, it's messages like that. Like,
yeah, it means a lot.
We're not like ever sincere on this podcast, and like I'm gonna cry. I think I'm not joking either. Like, it's so nice.
Yeah, this is we've talked about it before, but like Craig and I have done a lot of creative things in our lives. Like, we tried to be in a band, we tried to write scripts, we tried to do all of it. And this is the one thing that I think has really stuck. And it's the one creative endeavor that I've done in my life that I've been like I'm going to stick with this, and believe it or not, I'm getting better. And it's a labor of love, and it's something that I really enjoy. And the fact that people share it and people enjoy it, it really means a lot to me, because I know how much the podcasts that I enjoy mean to me on a weekly basis. And if I can provide just a modicum of that joy to somebody else, well, that's just great.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we've been doing this for almost 10 years. I mean, give or take, probably 7 years, but, getting there and constantly doing this. And I think it's obvious we're not raking in the doughs. We don't have a lot of Patreon listeners. Listen, Anthony, if you got friends, family, give them the gift of Patreon. It's $5 a month. If you said you want to support us more, give the gift to someone else. Because you think about it too. The podcast space, especially now, when we started, it was already too much. And the fact that there's listeners, even just a few, Patreon listeners that take time out of their day to listen to us, because you can listen to or watch or read so many other things. And that's kind of a cool thing with today's technology, is more voices are being heard. I mean, worse or better. But, the fact that we are just showing our love of this program and other programs too. And when we came up with the idea for the show, it was us connecting in a way that, because we don't live close to each other, so we have to do this over the internet. And it's just a way for us to still like maintain a friendship. Mm-hmm. Because I tell you right now, every single friend that I ever had in high school or beyond, I don't talk to. You're the only one, Steve.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I'd say that, yeah.
So it's just for us to stay connected, and this is a great way to do it. And then we could just be our goofy selves, and I'm glad people like our goofy asses. I mean, you're saying that we've tried other things. We did write scripts. That might be a Patreon episode. We might bust out a script we wrote and do a reading. I'm too afraid to do that, but that could be a Patreon episode. But we did do a podcast maybe 15 years ago. We only did like 4 episodes, but that was another thing. Like, it was before the era of Zoom and I don't think Skype. Well, Skype might have been around then, but we didn't have the infrastructure, the technology really and the equipment to do that at the time, via internet. So had we stuck with it like 15 years ago, we'd probably be a little bit more known in the podcast community.
But all the same, I think that I really like what we've like formed ourselves into being, and the fact that, you know, anybody listens to us is amazing, and like those of you who have spoken out to us, I just want to say, like, you know, David and Timothy and all y'all, Angela, you all are great, and Kate, and I appreciate y'all, and so thank you for listening.
He followed up with another email saying that it's also funny listening to the old episodes. You keep making jokes about maybe one day doing a Patreon, and that was a bit we would do. And it's funny, you actually did, even if it was mostly because Apple Podcasts taking you off. Now, it's not Apple's fault, it's Spotify. We hate Spotify, but if you listen on Spotify, I still have Spotify. It's just their weird rules.
Yeah, and it still upsets me. Like, I also hate Spotify, but I put a lot of time into curating a lot of my own personal weirdo music that I like, and I lost it all and had to rebuild it on another app. So I'm still a little salty about that, Spotify. But Apple is the evil corporation that hasn't screwed me over yet, so they're okay in my book.
Yeah, and I'm slowly like trying to get us on other platforms. I'm slowly trying to get, I say slowly, like I'm trying to get our name out there again. And it's tough because when you lose so many episodes, like nearly 300 episodes are gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gone from us. We have them all. It's just, it takes time to put the old episodes on Patreon, which I have to do that. But again, it's tough because I kind of want to go back and re-edit those episodes and make the sound quality a little bit better. So that's a challenge. But at this point too, you know, there's also talks of kind of resetting the podcast and doing some of the episodes we've done before, just to have a fresher take. We've already done that before, so with an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that we're on the Patreon here, we're building the classic episodes of The Simpsons, which will be nice to have like a nice little catalog of classic episodes that, you know, eventually will be released to the public, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will be.
We'll do a rebrand, I think, for the new season 38. Yeah, we're going to be called the More Annoyed Grunt Boys.
And then the Most Annoyed Grunt Boys.
Well, look, my daughter's going to be 2 years old by that time, so she'll be talking. Maybe she'll be the co-host. We need like a 2-year-old's opinion on The Simpsons.
I think so. That's what this show is lacking.
Like every good show, they ruin it by introducing a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons was so much better without Bart and Lisa. Those first 5 seasons was just Marge and Homer.
Mm-hmm. They're just their sex dynamics and all that.
Well, that was the name of the show, Sex Dynamics with Marge and Homer. All right. Again, we're talking about ourselves now. Sorry, but again, Anthony, thank you so much for that letter. It really brought joy to us.
Indeed.
Sweet thing. And then, like you said, our friend Dave over in Ireland, we made a joke about the Scottish people in one episode, and we asked if Dave has any issues with, or we said if the Irish people have issues with the Scottish, but he just says Scottish people speak in a very funny, like Willie, and makes great memes. So there you go. And then he did ask you, Steve, if you've or us if you've checked out Hello Boss or Has Been Hotel yet, and sadly I haven't. It's like I said, I got a kid, and it's tough to watch things. I make an excuse. I apologize.
No, life has been a little busy, but I will have an update shortly in the next week or two, and I'll give you an update on everything. So just hold tight. Let's go back to March 15th, 2020. Craig, what was the number one movie in the box office?
So we were not releasing movies?
Nope. According to Mr. Box Office Mojo, this is
so
like...
we already begun the lockdown and no new releases.
Yeah.
I know it was only 7 years ago, but I remember like not releasing real movies. I mean, not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blockbuster movies. But this movie is called Phoenix, Oregon. It was a re-release, and I'm assuming, an indie film.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's in it.
So it's just a blank screen?
Yeah.
Okay. The premise is 2 long-time friends battle midlife crisis by opening a bowling alley/pizzeria in their small hometown. I'm assuming that's Phoenix, Oregon. Steve, do we have a Phoenix, Oregon?
Not that I'm aware of, but there's a lot of weird towns.
Like Eugene?
Portland?
No, we do have a Phoenix, Oregon. It's all the way at the bottom of the state. We don't go to the bottom. That's pretty much California.
Yeah. Let's see. Who was in this? Dietrich Bader?
Wow, I know him.
Yeah, he's fourth billed. Mr. Batman himself. That's who I recognize.
All right. I'm sure it's a great movie.
Yeah. I think it's probably just like you say, like an indie film. It's probably good. We should maybe we can watch it someday for.
Maybe. Do you want to know the population?
I do.
As of 2020, 4,475.
Wow.
Would you like to know the racial composition?
I think I got it, but please inform me.
Well, right. 3,522, which is 78.7%, is white. There are 6 native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders that live there.
Okay.
You got 51 Black or African Americans. You have 48 American Indian or Alaska Natives. 65 Asians. 235 some other race. That's what it says.
Some other race.
And then 548 2 or more races. And then Hispanic or Latino of any race, 713.
Interesting. First of all, far more diverse than I would have assumed. But also,
I was reading about Portland stats.
Okay.
Phoenix, yeah. No, yeah. Do you think Phoenix is a sundown town?
I'm afraid it might be.
Yeah.
But Craig, I just feel like maybe we shouldn't define people by their race, and we shouldn't
Oh, you're right.
we shouldn't corral them into a tiny enclosure, even if it is geometrically sound with 6 sides, all equal. Because we all are equal, be us, wealthy or not, or Roddy or not. Craig, what was the number 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100?
The Box by Roddy Ricch.
No idea.
Nope.
But man, not knowing all these songs makes me feel old, and it makes me wish I could numb the pain. Also, another thing that makes me wish I could numb the pain is looking at politics these days and these candidates who just probably shouldn't be.
But there's someone out there that you're not thinking would be a good candidate, but they probably would be. I mean, a politician. Steve, what's your favorite Beck song from Odelay?
It's got to be where it's at. Or Novocaine.
Oh, there we go. What was the hot rock alternative?
It was Novocaine by the Unlikely Candidates. That's another song I don't recognize. I really feel out of place.
Well, it was the pandemic, Steve.
That's true.
And you're displaced. You're just you're probably at work and you're nervous because you don't want to get ill at work. So you'd rather be in your domicile.
Yep. And, I want to be walking healthy without the assistance of any sort of tool.
Right. And you're afraid, you don't know much about the pandemic right now. What if, just you shit your pants?
Which brings us to, speaking of shit, the Hot One Country song. What was that, Craig?
Homesick by Kane Brown.
Okay. Well, I want to say more, but I don't know where to begin, so I'm not going to.
I wouldn't begin at this current juncture as well, Steve.
Alrighty. Craig, what was the number 1 hot dance and electric song?
Don't Start Now by Dupa Lupa.
That's the one person I've heard of in this list.
Dua Lipa. I call her Dupa Lupa. I don't know why. It's just, I see her name. I see Dupa Lupa.
It makes sense to me. I like it.
All right, Dupa Lupa it is.
Alrighty. Well, let's just get into this week's episode, Better Off Ned, in which, when Bart starts to bond with Ned Flanders, Homer becomes jealous of their new relationship. So to get back at Bart, Homer becomes a father figure to Nelson Muntz. However, when Nelson plans to get back at Bart, it's up to Homer to save his son. All right, let's give it a watch. We'll be right back.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound.
And we're back. Today we're talking about Better Off Ned, the 16th episode of the 31st season. It is episode 678 in the show's run. It originally aired on March 15th, 2020. Your nerd code is ZABF11. It was written by Joel H. Cohen and Jeff Westbrook, with a story by Al Jean, directed by Rod Oliver, and your showrunner is Al Jean.
Have we ever had a story by credit?
I don't think so, and I have a theory that I have not had any proof of. This is all in my head, but I have a theory.
Should we just do the theory now before we get into it?
I think so.
Eager. Okay.
Okay.
It's not going to spoil the episode, right?
No. But
Okay, good.
I think that this is a working concept of a Simpsons movie sequel. This episode. This is like the A story of a Simpsons movie that would be a sequel to the original Simpsons movie. And I think that this would be like the A story. And what we're going to talk about in this episode is what would basically be the first third of the movie.
So this was just a concept Al Jean had for the movie, and then they're like, we need to make this story bigger, so let's just maybe use that idea as the end of the episode.
Yes, and then probably Joel H. Cohen and Jeff Westbrook kind of adapted it.
That's a good theory. I mean, because this episode also reminds me a lot of when Homer becomes the big brother to Pepsi.
This is another thing, too, is like that this feels very much coded in that episode, and which I think could have been something that Al Jean may have like had in his back pocket, too, that he wanted to make into a movie also like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of that episode?
Is that Brother from Another Planet?
Yes, you are correct. And it was written by John Vitti and some guys named Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein. Never heard of them.
Vitti. Nah.
Sounds like a pasta dish.
It does. John Vitti.
All right. Well, hey, Steve, let's just begin it then. And very fitting because this record, it's one day before All Hallows St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh, spooky.
Hope your St. Patrick's Day tree's up. You got your St. Patrick's Day turkey thawing.
You go hunting for St. Patrick's Day eggs.
Yeah, and hope you got your St. Patrick's Day candy clovers to give to your loved one. You got a St. Patrick's Day card, right?
Oh, of course, yes, thank you. And I appreciate the St. Patrick's Day gift card and also the candle for the St. Patrick's Day menorah.
Are we missing any other holidays? Oh, make sure you light those fireworks off at night and get grilling on those leprechaun dogs.
Yes, and don't eat any potatoes after sunset because it's unholy.
And remember, you can't wear green after St. Patrick's Day or it's bad luck.
Yes, you have to buy a new mattress.
Why is my mattress green?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I think you said something that went by my head. But yeah, and as of this record date, because you said it was March 15th, this episode is 6 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
But let's just get into it, Steve. Like I said, title gag, we got those leprechauns dressed in green and they're flying through the air fighting the leprechaun from the north wearing orange. There you go.
And then for a billboard gag, we have that green leprechaun toasting a Santa beer with Mo, who is wearing a green bowler and a bow tie. And the sign reads, "Drink till you're green, St. Patrick's Day at Moe's."
And the chalkboard gag says Lisa is writing, Bart is at the doctor's appointment. So another fun, we've probably had maybe Lisa before, but it's just fun when there's not Bart writing on the board. I know we've had Homer.
Mm-hmm. And this one's pretty cut and dry because, somebody's got to write on the chalkboard and Bart's, visiting Hibbert. So, Lisa's got to step up.
Is that how detention works? Because, I was a good student. I never got detention.
Yes. If you don't show up, your next of sibling or next of kin has to show up.
But what if you don't have a sibling or kin?
Well, then, your parents or a cousin, maybe a niece.
Or guardian.
Or a guardian, yeah, sure. Or a guardian of the galaxy.
Yeah, make Chris Pratt do it.
Yeah, he's got nothing going on. He can do it. Maybe that Bradley Cooper, dumb raccoon.
Sure.
And then we have a couch gag where an unknown person is tracking the Simpsons in an Uber-like driving app. And after the family sits on the couch, the unknown person rates the tip 1 star and doesn't give a tip.
I mean, they got to strive for 5 stars. I always tip your Uber people 1 star so they can thrive for something better.
Yeah, you don't want them to be complacent. We need them to drive faster, more recklessly, and talk to us more.
And you know what? When you get in your Uber or Lyft or your rideshare that you choose, always bring a bottle of whiskey and drink with them while they're driving you. It's just nice.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a sense of camaraderie, and if they don't like it, you can call them a pussy.
Sure, and you know what? Share your drugs.
I mean, that's just good advice in general.
If they don't want your heroin, just jab them with the needle anyway.
Yeah, they're probably shy, and so you need to encourage them a little bit. Or just blow some cocaine in their face.
All right, Steve, our episode begins, as it always does, with Bart on his knees at Springfield Retirement Castle, listening to Grandpa tell his old stories. So this particular tale involves a statue in a little town in France that features Abe in his army gear surrendering with the caption, "I'll lead you to Patton," with a young boy spitting on it. So behind Abe, a sign informs medical care professionals and guests that he cannot tolerate milk, soy, wheat, or today's music.
I can handle most of those things.
Even soy?
Yeah, I'm a real soy boy.
Are you soy-y?
I'm soy.
This is dumb.
Yeah, also what's dumb is that magic frame, because that boy is spitting in the frame. Like, it's not like a tablet or anything. It's clearly a frame photo.
It's funny because this is like out of left field.
Yeah.
But, he could have shown the picture and then showed another picture of a boy spitting on it. It would be the same effect, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a maybe Grandpa is a wizard, and that's a wizard frame, like in the Harry Potter.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what it is. And maybe Abe is a horrible transphobe too.
Just like Harry Potter.
Yes. The boy who hates. Bart has to admit that his grandfather's stories are extra cool today. And that's possible because the nursing home actually gave Abe meds rather than using him as a placebo like they normally do. So he takes some of those meds, and his head spins a full 360 degrees, and flames shoot out of his ears. And a nurse arrives just in time to light up her cigarette with that ear fire.
I like how you think the magical frame is silly, but, him with the head spinning and the fire ears, that's perfectly fine.
It is a cartoon after all, come on.
Well, the main reason Abe wanted to see Bart was to give him the most prized possession. So with some shaky hands, Abe offers a wooden box from the U.S. Army, saying in an eerie tone, "Open it." Oh, I can't do Grandpa, Steve. I'm sorry.
Open it.
That's what my grandma would say, too. Bart does just that, stunned to find a hand grenade. And as we'll hear in this clip, Bart uses some iffy Cosby logic to borrow that grenade. And then he has some fun.
It'll explode in just 5 seconds if you pull the pin. Uh-oh. Senior moment!
Put it back! Put it back!
It don't work that way! It's like having a kid! Ah! Say your prayers, boy!
Never! Huh?
Ha! I pranked you!
Grandpa, that was hilarious. I understand if the answer is no, but can I borrow your dud grenade? Aw, he's asleep. That means yes.
This year, we've just been named the most sedentary school in the state.
Yay! Yay!
No, sedentary is a bad thing. Our vocabulary score was also abysmal.
Is that a bad...
It's a bad thing, yes.
Yay!
Now, to get you kids up on your feet, we decided to have a 2-hour-long sit-down assembly instead of recess.
No fair!
Sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, before the clip, do you remember we used to have, it's gone now, we used to have an Army surplus store here.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just going there to buy a bunch of random old shit from the military. Like, I did buy, like, hand grenades that were obviously not, defused, but I just thought, like, Bart, it's cool.
Yeah, and that store was cool too because, like, aside from like naval uniforms and like dud grenades, they also had weird shit like luchador masks and grappling hooks and ninja throwing stars.
I always wanted to get the grappling hook. I never did.
I know it's my dream to one day grapple up a building.
Well, I would go there to get the flight suits to make Ghostbuster costumes.
It's true.
I would always get like army boots, military boots, because they were always cheap.
They had good messenger bags too.
Oh yeah, I have like here's a fun story, and here's a fun little thing about that is I still use one of those messenger bags as a diaper bag.
Nice.
Because I want to look cool. I don't want to have like an actual diaper bag.
Of
I want
course.
to have like a military looking thing. It's way cooler anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd use it for like my laptop bags. Yeah, I still use them.
It was a good store.
Yeah. Andy and Bax was the name of the store.
So Andy or Bax, if you're listening, thank you so much.
Remember, I have like old bullet shell casing belts and stuff like that. I would get like camping stuff there because they have a bunch of camping supplies. Yeah. I know there's still like surplus stores around, but
That one felt special.
yeah. So I know where Bart is with this. I feel him. But then the assembly, I love that they're ranked sedentary and they're going to sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And not go to recess where they should be moving around.
Also, just the acting of Ralph talking over Skinner
Yeah.
is really funny to me.
And that they don't know what sedentary means. It's very good. We're off to a good start, I would say.
Yes. So to begin the assembly, Skinner welcomes the mascot to Springfield's semi-amateur hockey team, Vinny the Vulture. As Ralph cheers, the band crappily plays on, and a guy in a vulture costume walks out and immediately takes off his head. It's Kirk Van Houten, who is actually the understudy since the main guy came down with a case of shingles. Must have been Ray Romano.
Knew you were going to say that. Steve's favorite episode.
It's actually just an okay episode. I just like that one joke a lot.
So since Kirk borrowed the costume from the primary mascot, he too is all hot and itchy. In addition to the shingles, when he puts the bird head back on, he finds that there's a bee in his beak. And after the bee bit him repeatedly, Stevie knows how to say bit instead of stung.
Of course. Now your bottom's fig.
Yes, he runs off the stage. So to fill time, Skinner suggests a little show and tell. And Bart is eager to volunteer, showing his penis. No, Steve, he's showing him the gift he got from Grandpa.
Grandpa's penis.
I'll go first. Don't worry, it is a live grenade, but it won't go off as long as you don't pull the pin out. Oi, caramba!
Climb in my ass hatch, son.
That's just a fun line.
That sound clip will live on forever.
I assumed it would. So in that clip, though, we didn't hear it, but we saw that Skinner wet his pants. And on one hand, I'm like, sure, he's a wiener, and so that's what wieners do is they pee their pants. But also, he was in Nam, and regardless of whether it's Skinner or Armin Tanzarian, whoever that is, he's probably experienced some, like, grenades and some more, and you'd think he wouldn't be that freaked out by it, but I don't know.
I agree with what you're saying, but maybe it wasn't pee, Steve.
Oh, he just loves grenades?
Yeah, the thought of like the school blowing up, he just jizzed his pants.
He's a little backed up.
I mean, that's a lot of jizz too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe seeing Milhouse climbing the ass hatch helped along.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think there's a lot of oxygen in this room right now, so it's going to be a goofy show, I'm thinking.
Uh-oh. Okay. Just pure goofy.
Gosh.
Yeah, Skinner wet his pants, but Ned, he surveys the situation and leaps from a seat, selflessly leaping onto the grenade. And Bart comes out laughing, telling everyone that it was all a prank. And Miss Hoover is clearly upset, as she briefly had hope that the school was about to be destroyed, only to have that hope taken away. Milhouse, climbing out of his father's ass hatch, wasn't a fan of Bart's pranks either, saying that Bart has no idea how far up there he went.
So, like, he definitely was in his dad's ass.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's the most action I've gotten in years, Milhouse. Thank you.
Your mother never did that.
What do you think you could be a hero is what I'm going to ask you.
Okay, that's like, I wasn't sure where that question was going to end up. Have you ever climbed in your dad's ass hatch?
But, like, if you saw a live grenade, and I've seen this in movies before, right? The one that always comes to mind is Child's Play 3, the movie where it takes place at a boys' military camp.
Mm-hmm.
Or not a boys', it's just a military school, so not camp. And Chucky throws a live grenade at a bunch of the kids, and, like, the nerdy kid, like, jumps on the grenade and blows up. And that scene always stuck to me as a kid, thinking, like, would I do that? You know, Captain America, the First Avenger, same thing. Tommy Lee Jones throws a dead grenade, and Steve Austin? No,
Steve Rogers?
Steve Rogers jumps on the grenade, and, you know, that's where, like, he's the one who should be Captain America. So what I'm saying is, like, would you be the one to jump on a grenade?
I don't know specifically about that situation, but I will say that weirdly, my brain is so full of anxiety and trepidation about most things that when an emergency situation comes on, my brain just gets into action because like my base level of anxiety is always so high that when everyone else is anxious, I'm just like, oh, this is just normal. So I feel like I could, but also maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
Well, if we ever do live shows in front of audience, I'm going to encourage the audience to bring live grenades and see if that happens.
All right. I look forward to the challenge.
I think the only way I would do it is if I'm having a bad day. I'm like, you know what, fuck this. I don't want to be here anymore.
Sweet release, here I come.
But, I've heard tales that soldiers that do that have survived because they still have like armor, like protection, but you can still survive that.
Mm-hmm.
Because this isn't a grenade just like shrapnel, just like jumping out at you.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's just, okay, Steve, let's go out into the middle of a street, a busy street, and try this.
Check it out this week on our Patreon.
Is that what we're doing this week?
One of us is.
All right. Steve will be looking for a new co-host, or I will be looking for a new co-host. So all the chaos brings both the fire department and concerned parents to the halls of Springfield Elementary. Nelson is touched that his mother was worried about him, but she drunkenly explains that she was just having a sleepover with Nelson's uncle, Mustache, a firefighter who offers a wink and a finger gun.
So Miss Muntz promised that she would no longer show up at the school drunk, but she admits to her son Nelson that she is in somewhat of a shame spiral, hanging out with lowlifes and bums. One such scum, or lowlife, is Gary Chalmers, who Miss Muntz happily greets. But the superintendent replies by giving her a $20 bill to keep his motherfucking name out of her goddamn mouth.
Wow. That's a lot of words from you, Steve.
I was just thinking, it was the Oscars, and I was just remembering my favorite moment in the Oscars, when Roberto Benigni won for Life is Beautiful.
What about the Oscars of The Office in the paper?
That's Nunez. That's a good Oscar. The Grouch, Montoya.
What about the Meyer?
Yeah. He's got a good wiener.
I don't know. Does he?
Yeah, it's true. I prefer the Hebrew National.
Sure, I'll take a Hebrew or Nathan Wiener any day.
Ooh, and Nathan's good.
Yeah. So shouting payday, Miss Muntz sticks the money between her big old titties and takes a nap in Nelson's locker. So when she opens the locker, Milhouse pops out, happy to be free, only to be once again trapped into a Dolph's locker.
So Homer, Marge, and Bart meet with Chalmers and Principal Skinner, who happens to be wearing Willie's kilt, while his own urine-stained pants dry. Seymour tells Bart that he forced Ned, who's also there, applying deodorant and putting his shirt back on, to jump on the grenade seconds before he was going to. And as Gary points out, because of Bart, now no one can bring grenades to school. But come on, Mr. Chalmers, this is America. You can always bring weapons to a school.
In fact, you get detention if you don't.
Exactly.
I know we'll see him later shirtless, but I love the detail of like the ripped muscles of Ned when he's putting his sweater back on. And it's always so funny once they put the clothes back on, the pot belly comes back.
Yeah.
So the school representatives want to kick Bart out for good. So Marge begs him not to expel him, and Homer adding that he has nowhere else to go. But before Super Nintendo Chalmers can oust Bart, Ned speaks up. He's known Bart for years and truly believes there's good inside of him. He wants to work with him after school, teaching him the 3 Ps: pussy, penis, and poop.
That's right.
Gross. I'll think of a better one. Penis, pussy,
and Pokemon.
Oh, sure. Pokemon. No, Steve, it's persistence, prayer, and persistent prayer. Shouldn't there be 4 Ps?
Yeah, but the one is silent. I won't tell you which one. So yeah, this is another thing is like the relationship of Bart and Ned in the Simpsons movie was so highlighted, and I feel like this is a good jumping off point. Also, it feels kind of like a goofy movie in a weird way. So Chalmers rolls his eyes at the religious man.
Gosh.
But when Ned kneels to pray, Gary panics, telling him to stop as they are in a public school. He then breaks the glass that holds the 1962 court case separating church and state. And as he reads the text of the case, Ned threatens to add him to a prayer chain using the Pyramid app on his phone.
This is like, doesn't Marky Mark have a prayer app?
I think so, yeah.
And I've seen Chris Pratt hawk one of those prayer apps. Yeah.
As does, no doubt about it, so does Gwen Stefani.
We should start a prayer app. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what we need.
I think we should just go like really far right Christian on this podcast. Look, there's a lot of suckers out there, and they are them. So I think we could probably make a lot of bank off these guys.
I mean, we've been like claiming to not be a political podcast, but we've been like shouting out all this leftist bullshit, and that's not gotten us nowhere.
Yeah, because leftists don't want to spend money.
I know.
We don't have any.
Sorry for your morals, but yeah, we're gonna go with these assholes and like bilk them for every last thing.
All right, so like let's just try to for the remainder of the episode try to just appeal to the Christian right of this country.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Other Springfieldians on the prayer chain include Disco Stu, Cletus, Reverend, Lovejoy, and Comic Book Guy, but he's dressed as Shrek, so he appears to have joined the wrong chat, and Shrek is, of course, the devil. Don't watch Shrek.
Yes, it promotes weird values and has Eddie Murphy, which is a sin.
Yeah. So Ned shows off that he's joined with 204 other praying people, and that with a click of a button, he could share Chalmers' office number. And you know what? Just do it, Ned.
Yeah.
Sinners gotta sin.
And prayers gotta pray.
That's right. Amen.
Amen. Lord bless us, and the late great Charlie Kirk. Gary relents, saying that he won't expel Bart. Marge is relieved and thankful, and Chalmers adds that Bart can stay in school provided Ned keeps him away from the baleful presence of his father. So Homer thinks that's a win-win.
So far, so good, because I think the Simpsons children should be with Ned Flanders, even though they don't have a mom. I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, I don't like the breaking of the traditional family values.
Yeah, it's a little upsetting. I really think that Ned should probably... Well, I think Ned needs to be with Marge. I don't want to separate her from her kids, so I think what Ned needs to do is probably put Homer on trial in the eyes of the Lord, and then, when found guilty, most likely burning at the stake would be fine, or just the good old flashing crucifix. What do you think?
I think crucifix, keep it old school. And hey, just because Ned marries Marge, that doesn't limit him. I mean, he can marry another woman. I mean, it's his right as a man.
We're not Mormons over here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I gotta know my limits.
I want 12 Hail Marys. No, wait, we're not Catholics, right? No, we don't like Catholics either. We're Christians. We're the Christian right.
Right. We're normal.
Thank you.
All right, next time we're playing football, I'll give you 12 Hail Mary passes.
We don't do that.
Oh, yeah, right. Bad Bunny. It's bad.
Ew, gross. Don't mention that name.
Sorry. Good Turtle. It's the opposite of Bad Bunny.
Good Turtle was on Entourage, right? But like Christian Entourage?
Yeah.
So as Ned leads Bart out of Skinner's office, they are confronted by Lisa, who's sporting a little black beret. While Bart receives guidance from Ned, she'll be hanging with the French Club, which includes Martin, Database, Hubert Wong, and Jamie. Bart requests that they don't mock him in French, but they do insult him in Francais, calling him an imbecile, and adding that while he's having fun with Flanders, they'll be enjoying a picnic. And Bart tells the language group to go shut the fuck up. But they laugh like the frogs they are.
See, in my theory, this would be kind of a B or C plot in the movie where Lisa has a love interest with a French guy. Maybe she ends up in France herself to see the Eiffel Tower and has like adventures like they do in that one Snoopy movie where they go to France.
I just don't think that Disney has the money to send a whole production crew with Lisa overseas. You know, it's a lot of cost. Like airlines.
Yeah, that is expensive. And like I know that Lisa has a lot of writers because she's a bit of a stub. So maybe they just take her to like Ontario.
I was say, or Paris, Texas. That's always a joke that people use.
Yes. The Simpsons did it. I remember a Paris Hilton, Paris, Texas joke. So in the kitchen of the Flanders homestead, Ned shows Bart that doing the dishes can be both a chore and a meditation, which is actually something that I agree with. I find the dishes to be very cathartic.
So a chorentation?
A chorentation, yes. A metachore. No, I like chorentation.
Metachore sounds like what employees have to do at Meta.
Yes, I gotta wipe Zuckerberg's ass. It's just a metachore. Bart is feeling a sense of peace, but then cries out that he cut himself. So he grabs his arm as a viscous red squirts out, and Ned begins to freak out, but Bart laughs, showing off that it was just ketchup with a squeeze bottle under his arm. But Ned, as we'll hear in this clip, isn't really amused with Bart's prank.
I can make that real blood, you little punk.
What did you say?
What I meant to say was oodly doodly. We'll change that attitudely.
Fishing? When I didn't take a Ritalin, you monster!
Hush. If you don't catch something, we don't eat tonight.
Stupid fishing, stupid peace and quiet. Stupid sunset thinks it has so many colors, so beautiful and bright and golden and...
Mind your line, Bart. You got a nibble.
I've got it! I've got it! I murdered a fish! Me! By myself!
Don't get cocky, son. You've still got to clean it and eat it. First things first, we got to start a fire.
With what?
We'll build character by building it ourselves. Your turn.
Oh, my hands hurt. There are child labor laws, you know. This is the most idiotic. Ay, caramba! Caramba!
In the beginning of that clip, when Ned says, like, I can make that real blood, you little punk, I think that's a nice callback to, like, Hurricane Nettie, where, like, he has this anger issue, and he let it slip a little bit, but he replaced it with, like, his normal, like, Ned Flanders nonsense.
I knew you were going to say that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I agree. Like that, just that little slip of like the real Ned Flanders that we never get to see. It's always a nice callback. Yeah, agreed. And I love going fishing and Bart saying, "I killed a fish. I murdered the fish."
Yeah, and I think like the scenery of this is so cinematic, which is another reason why I think this could have been an option for a movie. But also, I kind of like appreciate Ned's like tough love, like making the fire and then blowing it out in front of him just so Bart has to do it himself. Like, I'm not a parent, but that seems like kind of a baller, like badass move.
I think with like certain kids, that's one way to do it. Yeah, like Bart, we know Bart is smart and Bart is capable of doing anything. So having Flanders be encouraging towards Bart is what Homer should be doing. But that's the whole point of this episode. So as the mountain climber falls to his death, Ned checks on Bart's emotional state. He's feeling great, but not exactly sure why, so Ned tells him that it's accomplishment, something that Bart has earned that cannot be taken away. So with Bart's potential growing, Ned offers him a left-handed handshake, and Bart spits in his own hand before the shake, and Ned casually rubs that spit back into Bart's hair. Another thing, yeah, let's not forget, they're both southpaws. They're both left-handies.
That's true. And, maybe that's another reason why Bart is such a troublemaker is because he's living in a world that wasn't built for him.
Do you think Homer also hates Ned because he has to go to the Leftorium to shop for Bart?
Maybe it's an extra chore on the Saturday where he could be drinking or bowling. That's a good point.
Yeah. And it's probably, let's be honest, it's Marge going to Leftorium, not Homer.
Yeah, that's true. But either way, it's extra money spent, and you're giving it to Ned, so.
And it's like a niche small business, so it's going to cost more.
Right, exactly.
Than if they just like bought their left stuff off of a big corporation named after a river on this planet that is evil.
Yes, Nile.com.
We've already made this joke, Steve. Niles.com is a website where Niles Crane reviews wine and cheese.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorites. Bart joins the choir at the First Church of Springfield, sweetly belting out Amazing Grace. And Marge is touched, telling Homer that her special little guy could never sing like that before. But behind Marge, Sideshow Mel critically suggests that Bart still can't sing, as he breaks his bone in two and sticks the pieces in his ears. After the service, the community shares that they are impressed with Bart's recent progress. And later, Marge and Homer make a peace offering to Ned.
Remarkable. I thought the only way to turn Bart into a little angel was a down power line at a water park.
Why, you must be so proud you really turned that boy around.
Oh, well.
Congratulations, Ned Flanders.
Yeah, way to go there, Flanders.
You're the man, Ned.
Hey, you can't give them all the credit. We're the ones who messed him up in the first place. Listen, stupid Flanders. I just want to say thank you, and if there's anything I can do for you.
Well, for starters, you could stop calling me Stupid Flanders.
Oh, here we go.
No, that's it.
Thank you, Flanders.
Was that so hard?
He was laughing under that mustache. Bart? What are you doing here?
Bart's actually doing math homework. I wanted to see it for myself.
I love the beginning of the clip when, Hibbert. It's the only way I thought Bart would be an angel if there was a town power line in the park. Like, and he does his signature laugh, like he's laughing at Bart's death.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he laughing at his joke? Either way, it's still pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak, and I like it. It's a lot of fun.
You are here for it, as the children would say.
Yes, it's giving something.
It's Ohio?
Is that a one? Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Also, I like that Ned's demands are just simply, don't call me Stupid Flanders.
And of course, Homer's against that.
Yeah, I love his scoffing, like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, Homer butts in saying that he can help his own kid with his homework. So figuring out how to add fractions after the carries the math. I know we need the joke gel, the whole when people were doing math on TV, it's always carry the blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, let's not do it. But this one carries the math, I think works for me because it's almost making fun of that joke trope.
Yeah, I think it works for me as well because it is so silly.
Well, Homer stuffs the homework into the mouth of Baz, Ned's pup, using the classic line that the dog ate the homework, and Baz hops on the table, drops the worksheet, and smooths it out. Likely Bart already finished it with the assistance of Mr. Flanders.
Yeah, that is another thing is the dog just smoothing it out. This is a nice touch. Homer feels that he's useless, so he declares that he will walk away with his dignity intact. But as he turns, we see that Baz has firmly placed her teeth on Homer's ass. So Homer stumbles through town, past stores like Big and Useless and Gloomingdale's. And then he looks into a diner where a father and son peruse a menu together.
So at a bus stop, Homer tells Bumblebee Man that Bart doesn't love him anymore. So the speaking Spanish TV star replies in his native tongue that Homer may be sad now, but Bart really appreciates him. When he is older, he'll treat Homer with respect. So having no idea what Bumblebee Man just said, Homer replies, "You don't get me at all." So Homer sadly walks to the Springfield City dump where a sign says 50,000 seagulls can't be wrong. And among all that trash, we find Nelson weeping on a soiled mattress.
Hey, kid, I'm sad too. You shouldn't be out here alone.
Oh, nobody cares. My dad left, my mom's a drunk, my house is a trailer and all the wheels are flat, my last solid food was an ice cube, my TV is a milk crate with a squirrel in it.
This kid is such a wreck, even I could help him, which I could use to get back at Bart.
I get my hair cut by hiding in the bushes when the gardener comes by.
Am I gonna do it? Is it wrong to take advantage of one child's feelings to make another child feel bad? Nobody has the answer to that.
Nelson being a sad sack is great.
Yes, also him breaking his sad sackness just to say ha-ha because Homer's also sad. And then to go back to crying. Really funny. Yeah, this feels like a big moment in the movie, I feel like.
So in your movie, I'm not your movie, but in Al Jean's movie, do you think this is still the story that he's going after Nelson?
Yeah, I think that in kind of like imagine like a superhero sequel where you have in the second movie of a series, you have to add extra villains or extra characters to flesh out the world. And of course, with the Simpsons already have a full world, but Nelson is kind of playing the Catwoman to the Penguin, he's an extra thing. And so, yeah, this is an added thing to kind of add complexity to the plot, give Homer motivation. And yeah, I don't think the stakes are quite big enough for a movie, but I feel like plot-wise and structurally speaking, this feels like like a big kind of like 45-minute mark scene in the movie.
Oh, all right. I'll allow it.
But then we get a very gross scene, which I think, again, if this were the movie, maybe this is the equivalent to Bart's penis in the first movie. This is another gross out scene. So maybe a little less gross, or maybe more gross. I don't know.
Do you think we will get more penis in the movie?
I think, if Ned is going to be in it, we got to see some Flander flange. Like, come on.
We've already seen it, but censored.
Right. So either that or let's see what Wiggum's got working with himself. Like, it's not a lot, but I'm curious. Whose penis do you want to see, Craig?
Honestly, I think it has to be Milhouse.
Ay, caramba. Everything's coming up, Milhouse. So yeah, in a very gross scene, Homer offers some help to a crying Nelson, handing him a hanky for the snot running down his nose. Thank you. I was hoping you'd do that. Nelson tries to snort the mucus back up into his nose, but more just oozes out. So Nelson sniffles again, making that snot seep out of his ears.
Is this the grossest thing we've seen on The Simpsons in a long time?
Yeah, I'm thinking back, and I know that in the pot episode when Homer's eyes crust over, that's pretty gross, but this is also maybe even grosser than that. I think the color palette also adds to the grossness, because it's like a brownish green, and you don't want that coming out of your body.
Yeah. There was a gross scene in that Scorpion Tales episode too, but I forget what it was. But
eyeballs falling out, something.
Right.
Yeah.
I think snot is grosser, so yeah. This is just gross.
It is very gross.
I was eating my lunch while watching this episode, and I was not happy about that scene.
I'm sorry you had to experience that.
Well, Homer takes Nelson to Krusty Burger, giving him a meal, and then asks if he'd be interested in a mentor. And Nelson is unfamiliar with the term, but Homer explains that a mentor is a special kind of teacher. And Nelson replies that Homer don't know nothing, but Homer feels that he has a lot to teach that troubled little boy.
How to steal filling from a pie, how to get cookies without giving blood, how to use spearmint gum as a deodorant, and maybe I'll get someone to fix your teeth.
There's a doctor for your teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Can you teach me how to do this maze?
Well, it'll be a project we can work on together.
Cool. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm out of ketchup.
I'll give it back when I'm done.
Hello, Bart. Just wanted you to know I'm going to Nelson's house. We're close. Super close.
First of all, Dad, you called me. And second, are you mentoring Nelson just to get back at Bart?
No way.
Homer's such a bad father. He doesn't know his own kids' phone numbers.
Do you know your kids' phone numbers?
I don't.
Well, it's 555.
555-1212.
Do you think you should get your cat's cell phones?
I probably should. Yeah. The older one. The little one's a little bit too small for screens. I don't want to distort him. But one's he's getting up there. He's 7, so I think he's ready for he can have an iPhone
or a meow phone. That's dumb. All right. Hey, Homer may say that he's not using Nelson to get revenge on Bart, but asks Lisa to show Bart pictures of himself and Nelson pushing each other on a swing set, then breaking the swing set, and then being chased by a mob of angry children.
So inside Nelson's rundown home, Homer offers to teach him how to pack for when the wife kicks you out of the house. And Nelson wonders if the clothes are already tossed on the front yard, but in Homer's scenario, it's assumed that there was time to pack a suitcase. And suitcase is another term that Nelson doesn't know, so Homer's ready to move on. Nelson then asks Homer if he's sleeping with his mom, and is moved to tears of joy when Homer says no.
So Ned holds up a model of 2 giant hands joining in prayer, informing Rod, Todd, and Bart what they are building. Todd is in disbelief that they are going to be in the Pride Parade, the Christian Pride Parade. So, as Ned puts it, finally, Christians can openly show their faith. Rod and Todd chant, "We're sure we're pure. Get used to it." And Bart rolls his eyes at the boys just as Homer rides down the street on a bike with Nelson close behind.
Hey, Bart, look who I taught how to ride a bike.
Nelson already knew how to ride a bike.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to make cool motorcycle noises.
Let me help you back on your hog.
Me and Nelson are so close, people are calling us Homeson. Homeson away!
Home, son!
Room. Mom, are you seeing all this?
Yes.
Are you gonna do anything?
No.
Why not?
This is a complicated one. Both boys are being helped. What I'm trying to say is, it's time to change Maggie. Where are you, my little excuse? Sorry.
I first of all really like the sound effects that both Homer and Nelson make. Very funny. And Maggie looking at her fake watch impatiently. Very cute. But I really appreciate Marge's stance on this. I mean, she doesn't have a lot to do in this episode, so this is like her time to shine. But I like the fact that she understands the complexities of the situation, and from her perspective, like, everyone is getting helped out in a way. And so she's just like, I'm best to leave myself out of it. And I don't know, I kind of respect it.
Do you think it's because you have the theory that this was a movie idea and they didn't? If it was a movie, Marge would obviously have a story, so they're not going to do her story. Do you think Marge would have teamed up with Lisa in the story? Is that how it would have gone? Like, you're saying like France, maybe?
Yeah, maybe she goes to France and then like she has her own adventure. I would like to see something for Marge to do that doesn't involve Homer in any way. Because so much of Marge's stories are Homer upsetting her, or, you know, their relationship being faltered. So I'd like Marge to like maybe find a friend or something, like, you know, have some of her own adventure.
Like, she should just have like a non-emotional sexual relationship in France. Just get laid a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm
maybe
thinking.
she runs into Jacques, who's French.
And there's like, maybe she goes over to England to see Ringo Starr, then she fucks him too.
Yes.
Okay.
And some German dude too. Why not?
Oh, the German dude could be Hitler's clone. All right, I'm down. Hey, Algie, get the story made. All right.
Yep. Start writing Marge Bones Hitler's clone.
practically writes itself.
Yes. So at Moe's, Homer watches as Nelson stands on the bar using a lemon to knock over a 10-pin setup of empty Duff bottles. And as they high-five, Lisa walks into the bar, as, you know, all 8-year-old girls do, curious as to what exactly Homer is teaching young Nelson. And after a moment of thought, Homer sees Nelson at the pool table and says that he's learning banking. And then from the dartboard, Nelson is discovering how to aim for success.
You're right. This scene is just hilarious. Like, kids just walking into the bar.
It's like, hey.
Mo never cares anyways. He doesn't even have a liquor license, so what does he care?
That's true.
So technically, kids probably could walk into the bar since legally he's not allowed to serve alcohol. Although
it's like that one episode of Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Great episode.
They don't have their liquor license, so they serve everybody NA beer. Yeah, good episode.
It was in that, like, and also that episode, I believe, Cliff gets drunk from non-alcoholic. Yeah. So Nelson uses a crowbar. It's funny. I've never seen a crowbar in a bar before.
Yeah, I've seen a crow in a bar once.
He uses the quarters to steal from the jukebox, as Homer puts it. He's learning how to break into the music industry. And Lisa shakes her head in shame, giving her father everything she can do to help him do the right thing.
Here's $40. That's a lot of money to me. But I want you to get some therapy about what you're doing.
$40 worth of therapy coming up.
From a licensed therapist.
Mo has a liquor license.
Yeah, let's not discuss that too much.
Take the money, get some help.
Why are you doing this?
Dad, I have to be the voice of morality.
No, you don't.
Well, I like being the voice of morality.
And I like believing this role has not typecast me. I can still do Shakespeare. All that glitters is not delicious Duff gold. To be or not to be, there is no question. Oh, no. Excuse me. Gotta pee.
I love Lisa's line of, this is $40. This is a lot of money to me. I mean, as a kid, yes. I mean, even $40 to me seems like a lot of money, and it is.
Yeah, but if you're an 8-year-old girl, like, that's like a lot of money.
Who says I'm not?
I mean, maybe you are. I mean, I've never met you. Is this your card?
Yeah, it is my card. How did you get that?
Magic. And it's easy to fool 8-year-old girls with magic tricks and
Jesus.
only magic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You said you wanted me to be alt-right.
Oh, all right. You're right. Epstein was a saint.
Greg said that, just remember. So at the therapy and small check station, if you don't pass both, it's free. And inside, good old Gil makes a revelation. He's afraid of success because his father never had time for him. And he's about to clear what that all means, but unfortunately, his time is up. And so as the therapist pushes him out of her office, he says that he only needs 2 more minutes. And now he feels worse than when he came in.
Ah, poor Gil. Well, Homer is next, and the $40 that Lisa gave him is worth 10 minutes of therapy. He tells the psychiatrist that he was mentoring another kid to make Bart jealous, and then something odd happened. Homer is beginning to care for that little dingus.
So Homer pleads for help, but the therapist is appalled. She feels that he's ruining the life of 2 boys for his own petty ego. Homer angrily replies that a good therapist would say whatever you do is right. But as his current counselor explains, that's only true if you're wealthy.
Good line. That is true. Homer enters the Muntz trailer, declaring that a mentor is entering. He's greeted by Miss Muntz, who wants him to spend a minute with Mama. Homer tries to explain his lack of interest in her, but before he knows it, Nelson's mom is on his lap. He tries to avoid her advances as she reveals that she knows that Homer is spending time with Nelson just to get back at Bart. She then says that he will join the many, many, many men who've abandoned Nelson. So this huge group of guys fills up 3 bulletin boards of foes, including
Hank Scorpio,
Akira,
Mr. Bergstrom,
Lou the Cop,
Barney Gumble,
Krusty the Clown,
Bleeding Gums Murphy,
the Capital City Goofball,
Clint Howard.
the NASCAR dad from The Departed. We haven't reviewed that one.
Not yet. And Trucker 4 from Maximum Overdrive, which we can't review, but we can review Maximum Overdrive, which we did on this week's Patreon. Check it out on Patreon/AnnoyingCruntBoys.
All right, Steve, out of that board, which one are you putting on your sex board?
I mean, it's got to be Hank or Mr. Bergstrom. Like, Hank's got the money, but Bergstrom's got the heart.
You've always wanted to fuck Dustin Hoffman.
That's right. Just like Mike Nichols.
And the horse he rode in on that he later murdered.
You just thought of that joke with a little bit of luck.
You know what? I'll take Clint Howard. Because, maybe I get to meet his brother and his niece. And maybe they'll give me a job.
Yes. Also, Kiro would be good because, sushi is tasty.
And George Takei.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, it's weird that, Ron Howard always, names his kids, their middle names are the places they were conceived. Why would you tell that to your kids?
Yeah, that is weird.
I mean, I know he's got a couple kids, but my favorite is Elizabeth Dumpster Howard. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Howard kid. Who's your favorite Ron Howard kid?
Probably Elijah gas station bathroom Howard.
Which is funny because that's the same place the dumpster was at.
Yeah. It's a busy night. And of course, there's always Felicia asshole Howard. That's a surprise.
We don't talk about Isaac Funeral Home Howard, though.
Yeah. It was a sad day that turned into a happy day.
Hey, he was on Happy Days.
Hey. It's true.
We all love our favorite Howard kid, though. Arnold Howard. That joke's for the Happy Days fans.
Yes.
Which we have 0 of.
Are you implying that they had sex on top of Arnold?
Sorry, Arnold's Howard.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Okay, so it was actually Arnold's Pat Morita Howard.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we're done. We're almost done with this episode, Steve.
Okay, they waxed on and they waxed off. Okay. So groundskeeper Willie hangs a 4th bulletin board on the trailer wall, then adds his own photo to the wall of guys who have loved and left. Nelson may be heartbroken, but Homer isn't trying to be a hero.
Hey, I'm not here to save the world. I'm a mentor. I come in, I ment, then I go.
Tell that boy the truth.
Son, we need to talk.
No. I know where this goes. It ends with you giving me a phone number that starts with 555.
No, wait!
What do you have to say?
I was only mentoring you to punish my son for becoming a better boy.
I knew it!
Where are you going?
I'm gonna get even. I can't make you stay, but I can take it out on your kid.
Not Bart! I do love him!
Ah!
The fact that Nelson was sitting in his room working on the Krusty Burger puzzle or maze, this makes it so much sadder.
Yeah, and the way Homer delivers a line. And I do love Bart. Like, implying that he doesn't love Nelson. It's really good. And so Nelson runs to his cardboard fort that he has. It says a payback box written on it. He sits among a skunk in a cage. I'm assuming that skunk is for probably prank purposes, or it's his pet.
I would assume. Maybe both.
Various voodoo dolls, a cinder block tied to a chain, and a baseball bat wrapped in a barbed wire, drawing out his plans. His vision comes to life, as we see in the cartoon drawings, by Revenge of the Mentee.
So the crayon versions of Nelson run from the payback box, past the tire fire, and past the power plant, and to the city center in front of the Jebediah Springfield statue. A family circus-style dotted line follows his path behind him. So Nelson steals a tuba from the local marching band and blasts a low note that explodes Ned, Rod, Todd, and Bart to pieces that spell out, "Ha ha."
This gives little Jeffy a run for his money in the family circus.
Yeah, watch your ass, Bill Keane.
So a banner is hung noting the Christian Pride Parade while also warning that pride is a sin. A marching band that is literally beating the devil to the beat. A marching Jesus and Springfield's holiest of rollers strut down Main Street, chanting, "We're Christian, we're proud," then whispering, "Just don't say it too loud."
So in the crowd, Bart, Todd, and Rod all wear angel wings while holding hands because, as everyone knows, holding hands are holy hands. But Bart is grossed out that Rod's wearing lotion on his hands. But much like a certain free-thinking robot from South Africa, Todd is very chappy.
And on this podcast, we say, Chappy is crappy.
Chappy is crappy.
Nelson scans Bart, Rod, and Todd with angry, focused eyes. Meanwhile, an innocent priest, I like it because it's an innocent priest, it's very funny, throwing some anal beads, I think, into the float.
I was wondering about that because, like, usually when you throw beads, you're hoping to see boobs, but is he hoping to see like little boy hog?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So Homer arrives on the scene. I know there were supposed to be rosary beans, not rosemary beans. Homer arrives on the scene just as Nelson walks into a building, cross in hand, and he enters an elevator and then presses all the buttons. What's he up to, Steve? What's he up to?
Ooh, I don't know. So Nelson then takes the stairs to the tower with a view that would delight Lee Harvey Oswald, allegedly. On a stage below, Chief Wiggum and Lou stand guard around a button that will trigger the Praying Hands parade climax. He then breaks the top off of his cross that he was carrying and then forms it into a slingshot. And as he takes his aim, Mayor Quimby addresses the religious community, hoping to earn their vote.
Welcome, Christians. God is pleased to thank our corporate sponsor, C. Montgomery Burns.
Why won't you die?
Mr. Burns will take questions later. Thanks to this magnificent parade, you right-wing ding-dongs will keep me in office forever. And now, at the spectacular culmination of the parade, when the final float has safely cleared the route, a giant pair of praying hands will swing from the sides of the street and come together in holy union.
I love the fact that Lenny just calls out Mr. Burns saying, "Why won't you die?"
And then Quimby just being like, "We'll have questions later."
And I love Burns's like face. See, I know it's a podcast, but like just look at his face. It's very, very funny because he's upset and mad. And like watching this now, I'm not saying anything about anyone, but this is kind of like the political part of the podcast. And Lenny,
yeah, it feels a little familiar. Like, also, I'm going to say all this, and I'll keep you religious ding dongs.
Yes,
keeping on electing me for life. So it's like, yeah.
And you got to think too, like we're when this episode was probably produced, we were 2 years into the first Trump presidency. So, and now we're towards the end. But of course, this is this time of the year when this episode came out. It was just like we're screwed because of the pandemic, Steve.
Yeah, of course.
And where's my stimulus check? I need another one.
It'll be 2 weeks. This week is infrastructure week, but then we'll get to it in 2 weeks. Promise you, 2 weeks.
And my new healthcare?
2 weeks after that.
And when's the war in Iran going to end?
Lower prices on day one, I guarantee it. In 2 weeks.
Since Biden raised all the gas prices currently, when are those going to go down?
As soon as he stops raising them with his auto pen, we'll get him down like to prices you've never seen before.
Back when America was great?
Exactly, and we're going to make it great again.
All right.
In 2 weeks.
Deal. I'll elect you again, Mr. President.
Thank you.
On the ground, Homer sees what Nelson is planning to do. Crush Bart with the praying hands. So he asks where Flanders is at the time of need, and Ned arrives right behind him, shirtless, and punctured with silver arrows. He asks how he can help, and Homer pushes him away and running towards Bart.
So in slow motion, we see a vendor placing a balloon crown of thorns on a boy, Maggie sucking on her pacifier, and Lisa flipping through the pages of the non-Christian Science Monitor with the headline, "Doctors, see them when you're sick." So Ned pulls out an arrow from his chest, then passes out from the massive blood loss.
Nelson fires his slingshot, hitting the red button that will set off the praying hands. I didn't realize red buttons was there.
And now he's dead.
Bart is just about to be crushed like a fly caught in midair. Homer dives into action, pushing Bart to safety while getting crushed himself. Blood and guts spill everywhere. His brains land on Maggie, and Homer is dead.
That's how you end a Simpsons movie.
That didn't really happen, though. It's also followed by a celebratory blast of confetti. What happens when Steve has an orgasm? Eddie and Lou use the jaws of life to free Homer. And as they turn, EMTs flip him over, and Bart checks in.
Hi, Dad.
Son, you want to ride in the ambulance together?
Aw, that's always been our thing. Dad?
Yes, son?
Can I have a hit off your oxygen?
Of course. I'm a great dad.
That's kind of sweet.
Share your oxygen.
That's right. So the ambulance speeds down the road, turning into Nelson's crayon blueprint, followed by bricks that spell out, "The End." And that is followed by more text that says, "Nope, we're too short." So back in the dump, Homer, wearing an arm brace, apologizes to Nelson for using him. He promises the boy that one day they'll share a beer and they'll laugh about all of this.
And can that day be tomorrow? Nelson asks. And Homer says, sure, but for this day, he knows of a certain stupid someone who may be more skilled in this department. It's Ned Flanders, appearing surrounded by a halo of light created by a discarded glowing toilet seat.
So Ned leads down to check on Nelson, who feels like a rich church usher like him couldn't possibly understand his situation. But Ned points out that he has two troublemakers of his own, pointing to Rod and Todd, who have decided to sweep the dump without anyone asking them. And Ned understands more than Nelson may realize. While Nelson may have lost a dad, Ned lost two Mrs. Flanders.
I mean, Rod and Todd are kind of idiots. Where are they going to put the dirt?
Yeah, back in the dump. Idiots.
Stupid idiots. I hope they go to idiot jail.
Or idiot hell.
So at the Flanders dinner table, Nelson sits next to his mother, praying for God to bless Rod, Todd, and his wonderful mentor, Mr. Flanders. So he excuses himself to grab some napkins and then pokes his head out of the window where the other bullies are waiting for him.
Dolph and the other bullies can't believe that Nelson would renounce the way of the bully, but he says that people can change. He then walks into the kitchen and opens the freezer door, where Milhouse sits as a frozen cube. And Nelson mocks him, saying, "Thaw, thaw." And that's our episode. Wow, we did it.
Yay.
Thanks to Jesus.
Absolutely. And Satan.
And Satan. All right, well, thanks to Satan, we need to take a break and think about what we just saw. We'll be right back.
Tell me again, why did I trade Flanders for you?
Because we can do this.
Ow!
Okay, we are back. Let's finish up our talk of Better Off Ned. We'll talk about some scenes and people that we laughed at, things that we enjoyed, maybe some things we didn't enjoy so much, and our overall thoughts of the episode. And then we'll find out what we're watching next week. But before we do all that, we here at the 138th Simpsons podcast like to spread the gift of charity. Especially not Charity, the Charity Titters, the dancer, but Charity, the idea of giving things. Although she is giving, as the kids say. But enough about her. We like to give our co-hosts gifts from the episode that we think that they might appreciate. And Craig, I have got some stuff for you.
Can I predict one present you're going to give me?
Sure.
All right. Can you go over there so you can't hear what I'm saying? I just want to tell the audience.
I'm going to walk away.
Okay. I'm going to see if you can hear me. Steve, can you hear me? If you're a stupid garbage face, don't say anything.
I don't know, Craig. I can't hear a thing you're saying.
God damn it. Okay, I don't think he can. So, guys, I think he is going to give me a TV with a raccoon in it. So, a TV with a squirrel in it. I just predict that's what's going to come with me. Anyways, let's get Steve back here. Steve, coming back. All right, we're back.
All right, that was weird. Okay, well, Craig, I got you some gifts.
Nice.
So first of all, I got you a fishing pole so you can learn some character while you're fishing. Of course, I got you a hand grenade.
Nice.
I got you $40 worth of therapy.
I wanted pizza.
Therapy can buy many pizzas. And of course, the most important thing I got you is a squirrel and a TV.
I wanted a raccoon and a TV.
Crap.
I knew you were going to give me that gift. You forgot, didn't you?
I did. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Steve, I got you lots of gifts here. A TV with a squirrel in it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I got you a fishing pole.
Nice. You can learn some character with that.
I got you $40 that you can use for therapy.
It's good because sometimes I feel like people use me and then they like just kind of take what I give them and give it right back. So this will be good for the therapy.
And I got you a divorce paper so you can get divorced from your wife and a marriage license so you can marry Nelson's mom and he can finally have a dad.
Okay. I feel like this might add some complications to my own life, but I'm down. I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you so much. What'd you like in this episode? What made you laugh? What are your thoughts on this episode in general?
Well, I'm going to give Nelson the MVJ. I think him crying and the gross snot and the dump was very gross and very funny and very sad of him, like learning his sat sack story. So for that, I'm giving him that. Also one more thing. I forgot. Here's a grenade.
Oh, thank you.
Why'd the pin drop? Uh-oh. Speaking of the grenade, the beginning is great with Bart and the grenade. I loved all that stuff, especially Skinner peeing his pants. I think the scene in the end with Nelson wanting to murder Bart. If his plan had happened and like crushed Bart with the praying hands, like and it killed Bart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Nelson would be proud about that?
I think he would. Yeah, I mean, he's not usually coming up with complex plans, and that was pretty elaborate. And so, yeah, I think he would have a bit of pride for himself. Yeah.
But that whole scene, the whole sequence of when he's got, you know, he's doing that cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns it into a slingshot. It's just very funny. So that could be one of my favorite scenes. And of course, Marge and Lisa. I like how Marge is not going to intervene with what's going on in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And then also, Homer and the bicycle scene is great. I think I had fun with this episode. I like your theory of that it could have been a movie script idea, and it would have been fun to see a B story with Lisa and Marge. But again, this is just for the story of, the 22-minute story. And yes, we've seen, like we said before, we've seen this story told before with like Brother from Another Planet. But this was, I would have liked to see this expand more. And I like seeing the dynamics of Bart and Flanders. And it's, not our theory, but a lot of Simpsons fan theories of like Bart is a really bright, smart kid. And we know that. And just with that guidance that Flanders gives him is he needs that role model. And Homer, of course, is always the dummy. And so I think that works in this episode. If I gave this a ranking, look, 50,000 seagulls aren't wrong about the dump. So I looked it up, and there is 54 gull species. And, you have like the little gull. It's a cute name. How about the swallow-tailed gull or Ross's gull? No one likes his Ross's gull because they're always on breaks.
Of course.
And they also dress for less.
Right.
But if I were to give this episode out of any of the gulls species names, I would give this one, and it's a real one, the laughing gull. I like it. How about you, Steve?
I will say that my own theory kind of skewed my perception of this episode because it's hard for me not to think of it just as a movie, so it's hard for me to like shrink it back down to an episode. But I did have some laughs with it. I appreciate the enthusiasm that Bart has, first of all, in the beginning with Abe, and I think that their moment of sharing a prank together and Bart enjoying getting pranked is something we don't get to see often, and I really like that. And then him taking it to the school, I think that whole scene with Skinner and Ralph in the audience was very funny. A lot of times when we're talking about, Homer being a bad parent, we just see him do bad things, and then he makes a half-assed attempt to be a normal parent, and then it's fine. But here we get to see Ned be a really good parent in a Ned Flanders sort of way. He offers, traditional, conservative, tough love, Christian, fatherly love that we here at the 138 Simpsons podcast enjoy and appreciate. But no, I think that, the way that he does it is strictly a Ned sort of way, and something that Bart doesn't know, and he needs that guidance. And so to get it from Flanders is interesting, and I think that dynamic really works. And then on the other side, Nelson just needs somebody to be there for him. And so that being Homer, I think also works. And I think their dynamic is a lot of fun, too, because they're both kind of dumb and kind of sweet and kind of innocent. And so I like the pairing of the two. We're not breaking new ground here, but I think it works really well. For an MVJ, yeah, I think that it's probably got to be Nelson. I agree with that. I think that his sadness and the ha-ha, and also the creativity of his cartoon drawings, I think that was a lot of fun. And, we don't really get to see Nelson's more creative side, so that was good. So yeah, I think this is a watch. It just is a weird episode because it feels so big, and yet it's the 16th episode of season 31. It aired in mid-March, and so it doesn't have, a lot of stakes, but I think it feels like an epic episode for me. I don't know why, but I liked it. And so I kept on talking about how I thought it was like the Simpsons movie, and currently the Simpsons movie has an 87 on the tomato meter at RottenTomatoes.com. So if I had to give this a numerical ranking out of 87, I'm going to give this a solid 73.
And that's the average.
Yes, but yeah, I think it's a fun episode. There's a lot to explore, and if this were, the beginnings of a movie, I think it could work. I think you need to raise the stakes a little bit, make the world a bit bigger, but maybe going to France or Ontario would work. So, yeah.
I heard that there's a place in France.
Really?
Where you see the naked ladies dance.
Wow. That sounds like a place I want to go.
Yeah. Ooh la la, as they would say in France. But yeah, I liked your theory. I think your theory helped me appreciate this episode more. And it's funny, you were talking about you had a couple laughs. Sometimes when you watch a Simpsons episode, you can enjoy it and not laugh, and that's not a bad thing. I was enjoying where the story was going.
That is true, yeah.
That's something that that you just don't, that you can accept and enjoy as a Simpsons fan, and that's what's great about the show.
Yeah, there is a strong relationship dynamic between a lot of characters here that I think is just really powerful. And we have some heavy hitters writing it, but I think it's a really well written episode. So yeah,
I'm wondering too, what is story by Al Jean, and your theory works more than what I'm about to say. But what if it was the many other shows that Al Jean worked on? What if this was actually a story pitch for another series and not the Simpsons? What if this was a critic pitch that he had, or a story that maybe Jay was paying attention to another child over his own kid?
That makes, when you say that, especially the critic, that makes a lot of sense. Who was Jay's boss? The guy with the mustache?
You know what? That's funny. You don't remember his name. I don't either. Duke, was it? You know, I haven't watched The Critic in a long time, Steve. And you know what? I'm calling it now. Next week on Eye Off Springfield, our Patreon episode, we're going to talk about The Critic. Should we just do the first episode?
I think that's great. I love it.
All right, we're finally going to tackle season 1, episode 1 of The Critic. I'm assuming it's called Pilot.
I sure hope it doesn't stink.
All right, I'm glad we got this done with. All right.
Thank you so much, listeners, for enjoying us this week, and we hope that you did enjoy us, and we hope that you'll check us out next week, because we've got another episode, and of course, because we are in rerun land, we're going to need an episode from our good old acquaintance, the Wheel of Random. So let's give it a spin to see which season we're in. Ba-doop. Season 27.
27.
Alrighty, let's give it another spin to see which episode we're watching. Ba-doop. All right, we have episode 19, season 27, episode 19. Craig, what do you think the title is?
Let's Kill Lisa Simpson.
Okay, well, we can do that, but what do you think the title is?
Let's Kill Lisa Simpson.
Sure, after the podcast, but what do you think the title of next week's episode is?
Let's Kill Lisa Simpson.
Fine, but I need a title.
Let us kill Lisa Simpson.
Okay. That does sound like a lot of fun, but sadly, no. Next week's episode is Fland Canyon.
It was obviously another Flanders episode. I think the episode is going to be about the Springfield Gorge, and Flanders decides he snaps. It's like a spiritual sequel to your favorite episode, Hurricane Nettie. And so he snaps and starts murdering non-Christian people in Springfield. And to hide the bodies, he just dumps them in the Springfield Gorge.
All right.
In the B story, Janie and other Springfield elementary school girls get together because they hate Lisa Simpson, so they plan on killing her.
Okay. That does sound like a lot of fun and very haunting. But here's what I have. So Homer recalls a tense family vacation to the Grand Canyon with the Flanderses. At first, Flanders' perfection puts the family at odds, but when they get stranded and Ned and Homer go for help, the families finally bond. James Bond.
Steve, don't do dumb jokes on this podcast.
I'm sorry.
You say they took a tense vacation?
Yes.
Do you know what I call a tense vacation?
What's that?
Camping. All right. I said no dumb jokes, Steve.
I'm sorry for both of those. And I'm sorry to you, listener, for, all of this. But thank you for listening. And hey, if you want to reach out to us, you can go to your socials, like your Instagrams or your Threads, or even YouTube at 138simpsons, or you can always just email us at 138simpsons@gmail.com.
And go ahead and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get this podcast. You don't have to leave a real review. Just give us 5 stars of the equivalent. Let us know which Springfield male you want as a daddy.
Ooh, I like that. And of course, as we mentioned, go to patreon.com/AnnoyedGruntBoys and sign up for our Patreon. It's just $5 a month. You get a bonus episode every week. We explore all kinds of cool things. We talk about movies. We talk about classic episodes of The Simpsons. We talk about other sitcoms. And sometimes we just chat it up. And so check it out. It's totally worth it.
And don't forget to go to tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoys to get Annoyed Gruntboy merch.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening. For this week, I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Steve.
And I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Craig.
And remember, I can make that real blood, you little punk.
Let me help you back on your hog.
Climb in my ass hatch, son.